Thank you. Thank you to our many honoured guests who have found the time in your busy diaries to come and support my acceptance of office. I'm proud and privileged to stand before you today as Avon and Somerset Police and Crime Commissioner for a second term. But I feel incredibly humbled that so many of you have put your trust in me for the next 4 years. I want to thank everyone who participated in this election, especially all the returning officers, and offer my respect to the other candidates. Standing for any public office attracts all kinds of comments, not always pleasant. But democratic debate is better served by having a number of candidates, which was reflected during the hustings. But the votes have been counted, and you have made your voice heard. I am the only female independent Police and Crime Commissioner in the country, and one of only 3 independent PCCs voted in this time around. You have chosen once again to keep party politics out of policing. Thank you. I chose the Trinity building for today's event because it's all about community, and this role is about serving all the people of Avon and Somerset all of the time without fear or favour. This is what I expect from the police, and this is what you expect from me. It's appropriate too that the original Holy Trinity Church that we stand in today was built as a way to address the problems of crime and disorder in the growing city of Bristol. In the 1800s, authorities felt the way to engage the increasing population and deter them away from a life of crime was holy worship, and so this building was created. I'm sure you'll all agree we have made many advances in the past 200 years in the ways that the police fight crime, prevent crime, and support our communities to be safe and feel safe. I'm proud of what has been achieved over the past 3.5 years, and I'm even prouder to serve you once again as your Police and Crime Commissioner. I will continue to be independent, impartial, honest and transparent every single day, and that's my promise to you. A marble memorial once stood in the church of police in this church in memory of Police Constable Richard Hill, who was stabbed to death whilst on duty in 1869. The memorial can now be found in Trinity Road Police Station. But Richard Hill was just 31 years old when he was murdered. The memorial was a mark of respect from his fellow officers and residents, and it simply says, "A brave man, PC Richard Hill was not forgotten." And we must never forget the dedication, courage and commitment of so many police officers, PCSOs and staff, because they work tirelessly to keep us all safe. They come to work every day determined to help our most vulnerable. And just imagine what life would look like if we didn't have these extraordinary people putting the public first. But on those rare occasions when things go wrong, we need to be able to acknowledge when the police have let us down. If the police make a mistake, we want them to acknowledge it, apologise and learn from it. Because we expect a lot from our police, they deal with extremely difficult situations on our behalf, but we all make mistakes. But rightly, what our communities will not forgive our police or other officials for are cover-ups and lies. We have seen Hillsborough, where a lie was allowed to persist for 27 years. And there have been mistakes locally, most notably when the police failed a vulnerable man, Bijan Ebrahimi, who was then brutally murdered. This has shaken the confidence in our police service, and although I am clear that the police have learnt lessons, I am also clear that there has to be honesty with local people. Honesty when the police get it wrong. Honesty regardless of reputation. Honesty with you, being able to say sorry and mean it, and making sure such serious failures do not happen again. As Police and Crime Commissioner, I want to make sure that the police have the right tools to do the job, that we are using the best mobile technology to make their jobs easier, not harder. The Chief Constable, Andy Marsh, who's here today, is passionate about improving the morale and support given to his officers, and I support him wholeheartedly in this. I've made investment available to provide body-worn video cameras to all operational police officers and PCSOs this year, and I will provide the investment to make other improvements he wants in order to empower and support his officers and staff. Because policing is far too important a job not to have the right investment. It's also something we cannot do alone. And just as the Holy Trinity Church was built to bring the city together, I hope we can unite our communities in policing by improving its representation. Over the next 4 years, I want to see far greater diversity and true equality of opportunity. A really successful police force reflects the communities it serves. This is an area where I want the Constabulary to do more. And just for a few moments, I'd like to ask Chief Inspector Norman Pascal to come and say a few words about his work in making the workforce of Avon and Somerset Constabulary truly representative. Norman.
Morning, everybody. Firstly, I'd just like to congratulate you, Sue, on being re-elected. A great choice by our public. Representative workforce, and I'm the lead in Avon and Somerset to try and make the force more reflective of our communities. British policing is renowned the world over, and it's based on some very simple principles. The main one being the police are the public and the public are the police. So we need to truly reflect our communities. So it's vitally important that we absolutely do that. We've been doing a considerable amount of work out there in our communities, talking to schools, universities, schools, youth clubs, anywhere and anywhere where people will talk to us, where you can inspire young people to see the Constabulary as an employer of choice. What we absolutely do need, though, to make sure that we can progress this even further is your continued support, Sue, and I'm sure we can bank on that. Our new Chief Constable has come into the force and has put some energy and some enthusiasm behind this drive, and I'm confident that we can get there, but we need all our community's help to make Avon and Somerset truly representative of the communities we serve. Thank you.
But you can tell from listening to Norman that the road ahead is long and our climb will be steep. We won't get there in 1 year, and we won't get there where I want to be in 4 years, but I have never been more hopeful that we will get there. With the determination that we have to get it right, I promise you, we will get there. But again, we cannot do this job by ourselves. Policing is too big a job for the police alone. We need local people, we need to bring our communities together, and most importantly, we must listen to them and to you. I have listened to the concerns of residents regarding stop and search, and I will develop a stop and search scrutiny panel where local people will review stop and search cases and the use of tasers. I've listened to your concerns about the police complaints system, which is far too long and bureaucratic. Last term, I set up the independent residents panel to review complaint files. I'm extremely grateful for the work they have done. They've worked with the Constabulary to improve their approach and given them a different perspective, and tangible improvements have been shown. But this term I want to go further and develop a new way of delivering a much better service to local people, where the Constabulary listen and learn from your feedback, where complaints will be dealt with quicker, and where you will feel that you can affect change. I've listened to the concerns of Neighbourhood Watch, parish councils and other community groups about the level of engagement that you receive from the Constabulary. We all benefit from your service, and we need to empower you effectively to carry out your role supporting the police. And that's why I've asked the Constabulary to develop a communities pledge. So going forward, you know what engagement you can expect from your local police teams. By working together, we can truly solve the issues that matter most to local people. And next month, I will reopen my £200,000 Commissioner Community Action Fund, because only by working with you on the issues that matter most to you can we build stronger and safer communities. As your Police and Crime Commissioner, I am your voice and I'm listening to you. And I'm more determined than ever to listen to the quiet voices, to protect those that cannot speak up, those who are silenced and their hopes dismissed, to listen to victims of crime, our children, our young people, our elderly and those who are mentally ill. We must protect our most vulnerable. I'm pleased to announce that mental health nurses will soon be based in the police control room, advising officers and staff on supporting people in mental health crisis. And I'd like to thank the West of England Clinical Commissioning Groups for their support, as well as the Bristol Clinical Commissioning Group for their strong leadership in establishing the successful mental health street triage in Bristol. I remain a passionate believer that police custody is the wrong place for detaining people who are mentally ill. Next month, police custody will only be used in exceptional circumstances, and the Constabulary have my full support. But I want to go further and agree that police custody will never be used for detaining people who have committed no crime, who are experiencing a mental health crisis for which they need specialist care. And let me assure you, I believe sincerely that police cells are never the right place, full stop. I'm proud of the achievements of our Specialist Victim and Witness Care Unit, Lighthouse. They've held the hand of over 30,000 vulnerable people and guided them through the criminal justice system. I'm proud of all our support services that help our victims to cope, recover and rebuild their lives. I'm proud of the West of England Child Victim Support Service, a joint project with Angus Macpherson, the PCC for Wiltshire, the Home Office, Barnardo's and all the local authorities in the area. But we have to do more. We must protect our children in their darkest hour of need. We must protect them from being romanced, groomed, raped and controlled. Because child sexual exploitation is happening. And it's happening here. Our work on the West of England project has shown that. We all have a responsibility to safeguard our children. So I'm pleased to announce that for the first time there'll be an Avon and Somerset-wide CSE campaign. And with the help of our partners, particularly our local authorities, we can raise awareness of this crime. Because as the campaign says, child sexual exploitation is happening. And we must do more to work together to fight abuse of all forms of assault and abuse, from domestic and sexual violence, female genital mutilation and human trafficking. We owe it to the women, men and children that are being abused to stand together as one, to take protective action to fight these evil crimes. I will reiterate the promise I made when I was elected last Friday. I will work tirelessly to strengthen our bonds with local partners. We cannot do this job by ourselves. We need our partners. And all our local authorities and the newly elected Marvin Rees, Mayor of Bristol, share the same hopes for the future. We all want our children to grow up in one of the safest areas in the country, in strong communities which are not weakened by inequality but strengthened by tolerance and understanding, and that's a vision we share. And I reach out to all our local leaders of all parties to meet those challenges. We need to give them hope. We need to give them hope of a better life. But we are all burdened by the country's national debt. We have seen 60 million taken out of our local police service over the past 5 years, and I know you've started to feel that, because you've told me. You're seeing firsthand the effect of having 600 fewer police officers on your street. And within policing, we're seeing a workforce who feels strained and under pressure. However, we are not alone. This is being felt across the country. So I will be looking to my fellow police and crime commissioners to say to the government, no more cuts. Give us a fairer funding formula. Give us stability so that we can plan for the next 4 years. But we also need to look to ourselves, how we can work more effectively for local people in partnership. Avon and Somerset has a long and strong track record of working with Wiltshire and Gloucestershire police. And going forward, I want to work with both Angus, PCC for Wiltshire, and Martin Searle for Gloucestershire to deliver savings, because I need those savings, because we need to reinvest in strong local police teams, areas where crime is increasing, particularly against our most vulnerable, and to reinvest in tackling cybercrime locally, regionally and nationally. There is now a real opportunity to increase our joint working with the fire service. Thank you, Lee, for attending. I'm delighted that Avon Fire Authority is in principle moving their headquarters to Portishead, making a joint fire and police headquarters, saving some £9 million from the public purse. We will work with them on other opportunities too, as well as Devon and Somerset Fire Authority, who've set up the Emergency Services Forum to look at joint working across the southwest. There is so much more to do that we can improve our services. I will be asking the Chief Constable to review our existing local models so that the innovative one-team approach, which started in Hulken with Taunton Deane Borough Council, can be applied more consistently in the right areas for the right benefits. And finally, I want to work with the local criminal justice agencies to improve services, to improve support for people who are victims and witnesses. I want to see a successful criminal justice service, not just a system. I return more determined and more inspired than ever about the work there is still to do and the future that lies ahead. We have come far and we should be proud of our achievements, but there is so much more to do. And let us just personally ask ourselves, are we doing all we can to protect our children from being groomed and sexually abused? Are we guarding our most vulnerable from the growing threats of the internet and serious and organised crime groups? Are we empowering our communities to help prevent crime? I believe we can do more. I believe we can seize the opportunity together. and I believe we can have an even prouder future when we stand together as one. So together, with your help, we can make South Gloucestershire, Bristol, Bath and North East Somerset, North Somerset and Somerset, one of the greatest, strongest and safest areas to call home. And we start that work today. Thank you.